Good afternoon. It is Saturday the 24th of May. It's just coming up to 1 o'clock and I'm just about to head off out, do a bit of an Uber shift. Yeah, I was out this morning, had a private job. I was at 2:30 pickup, going to Manchester Airport, so by the time I dropped them off, got home, what time was it? 3, half 4, it wasn't far off, 5 o'clock. So yeah, haven't got any private jobs booked for today or for in the morning as of yet. A lot of the time they seem to come through like last minute. Someone's picking up first thing in the morning. I don't know why people leave it so late. So yeah, something might come off on that front. But other than that, I'm just about to go out and do a little bit of Ubering. Temperature has dropped down a little bit. Obviously it's been throwing it down since last night. I think it's supposed to be raining a little bit more today. So I'll see what happens, I'm not too sure. Yeah, so I'm about to go online now and I'll give you an update in a bit. So it's just turned 3 o'clock. I've done 3 jobs. Kind of nice cushy ones really. So the first one I took, it was Ormskirk going to Liverpool. It was like the outskirts of Liverpool. I don't really know what the area is kind of called. We zoom in on the map. You can you? It was only the outskirts anyway. XL job, £22.84. It was a 22-minute job going 7 miles. But again, because I live out in the sticks, I've probably had to run about 5 miles to get back into Ormskirk. So yeah, when I took that job, it was just before 1, and it's probably took me about 40 minutes all in, thereabouts. And then I got another job. Loads of jobs were popping up because the whole of like Merseyside was all surging like mad. But all the jobs were just crap. I'd probably like 9 out of 10 jobs were all going into Liverpool city centre, and I just did not want to be there whatsoever. So I was ignoring them all. I think Uber logged me off about 4 or 5 times because I was just refusing to go into the city centre. Some of the jobs were coming up. You know, they range from 10 to, I think the biggest one was 23 quid. And they were all hour jobs, and then you finish in the city centre. And I've done it a couple of times when I've been getting higher paid jobs, and I've regretted it every time because there is no jobs coming out, and then all the jobs that are in there are all like little £4 or £5 jobs, really crap. So I basically waited, just like declining jobs, ignoring them. I took my next job at 2 o'clock. So basically in that first hour it was just that one job, £22.84. And then at 2 minutes past 2 I took another XL job. It was £28.82. 17-minute job going 10 miles, but then I ran a couple of miles to it. So it was kind of like the outskirts of Formby. There's a golf club there, and it was going to a golf club in Exactly. I was quite surprised they hadn't cancelled when I was driving over, and when I got there, there was 4 lads and they had 4 golf bags, and he was made up, and he was like, he said, I hate it when you book an XLs, he said, and like Saphiras turn up and everything. He said, and then we have to, basically they would book it, see what vehicle they were assigned, and then they'd cancel the job, and he'd have to keep doing that until they could find a vehicle that could get basically all the golf bags in. He said, so yours was the first one that popped up. He said, obviously they were made up with it. So they put 4 golf bags in the back, and it had taken up like 25% of the space. So I done that job. Yeah, it's £28.82, 17 minutes. So I dropped them off, and it was like 25 past 2. I thought I'll start heading back towards Ormskirk way, and then a job came up just round the corner, and I was coming to Ormskirk, so I've just dropped them off now. That was £9.51, 13 minutes going 6 miles. So yeah, just dropped them off there, so it's pretty much just over 2 hours by a smidge, and I'm on £61.17, so £30.55 an hour thereabouts. So it's not too bad. Like I said, there's been loads of jobs that are popping up. I got logged off, like I said, 4 or 5 times, but you've just got to pick your jobs. Like, I don't know, my acceptance rating now is going to be well down again. Yeah, I'm down to 7%. I think when I started my shift I was on like 15-16%. Just because I just didn't want to go to the city centre. So I know that there's going to be like a lot of drivers that look at it and go, oh, well, I'll accept that. Like a number pops up like 20 quid and they'll be thinking, oh, 20 quid, oh, that's decent paying, it's a surge as well. But when you look at it, it's basically saying you're like 5 or 10 minutes away from the customer. Then they need to get in. It's an XL. And then you're going all the way to like Hub Street or, you know, Dale Street or whatever, right into the city centre. So it's easily an hour job. And then you're thinking, well, I've done that for like 17 quid now or 20 quid. You know, and by the time you take off all your expenses, you know, your tax, your national insurance, it's crap. It's just not worth doing it. So you've just got to sit there and say no to like these 17, 18 pound jobs or whatever, especially when the whole of the Northwest is surging. So like I said, I've been really cherry picking, and that's why I'm on over £30 an hour. So yeah, basically I've been shafted good and proper by the missus. I've got another hour. Basically she's going out tonight with a sister and one of her mates, so in an hour's time I need to pick one of her friends up, not too far away, that's in Ormskirk, that's how I've come to Ormskirk. I then need to go back to my house to pick the wife and the sister up, take them to Southport, to Penelope's, they're going out for a meal. I can then carry on working, and then when they're finished in there, they need me to go and pick them up from there and take them to the Grand. It's only about a mile away, mile and a half, so they can carry on the evening there drinking. They've got like a big roof terrace and everything in there. I'll carry on working, and then when they're finished, I then need to pick them up. God knows what time that's going to be, whether it's midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Obviously take the wife and her sister back to mine, and then come back into Ormskirk to drop her friend off, and then I can carry on working around Ormskirk, because I'm guessing it might be like 1, 2 o'clock, and then that's kind of when Ormskirk is busy for like half an hour to an hour. So yeah, I'm going to lose a bit of time messing about with that. It's probably going to be like an hour of me shift all in, basically dealing with them. But yeah, that's just one of them things, isn't it? And a friend was even joking, saying, oh, if you were charging us, how much would that be? And I said, well, if it was Uber, I said, like, I don't think it'd be that much. Uber would probably charge you about 40, 50 quid all in for that. I said, if that was me, as like a private job, I said, this would probably cost you like 90 or 100 quid. The wife was like, what, 90 or 100 pounds? She said, I wouldn't even be going out. Can't remember the last time she went out, to be honest, but she was like, she said, I just wouldn't go out and pay 90 or 100 pound to be ferried round. And I was like, well, how else are you going to get round? You're going from town to town all over the place. So anyway, that's going to break me night up a bit. So like I said, I've got an hour now, kind of pottering round Ormskirk, kind of. I don't know how that's going to pan out. Like I said, I can get some jobs in. You know, like I can get all the way down to like, you know, like Southport and whatnot. It's only that, you know, it's only 15 minutes away. So I'll see what comes up. I'll go back online now. I'll see what kind of jobs are popping up. So I'll update you in a bit. And it's daylight. So yeah, I didn't have time to do like a bit of an update last night. I was bouncing around a lot, and then I finished a little bit earlier. Like I said, I was having to run the missus round and her friends and all that, so it all got a bit complicated. So yeah, I'll round off that video now. So I think the last update was about 3 o'clock, I think. Where was we? I don't even know where I was. Ormskirk, yeah, so I was still in Ormskirk. The next job after that was a £5.73, 10-minute job, 3.8 miles. Rates were really crap. I then accidentally accepted an XL job. Like, I don't cancel jobs, but I had accepted it because I thought it was like right next to me, and I think it was like an £8 job, and it looked like it was going like a mile. But the bit that I missed was I was like 6 miles away from the job, and it was going a mile. So I thought, well, I'm not doing 7 miles for £6 something. So I cancelled it, and then my cancellation rate went up to 2%. Like, I've only cancelled 2 jobs in probably the past 60 days. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have refreshed for some reason. So after that, where was we? That was about 20 to 4. I came offline for about an hour because I had to pick my partner up and her friends and all that, and then go and drop them off in Southport. I came back online at 5 o'clock. Let me just deduct an hour off that total. So 6 hours. Sorry. Yeah, and then came back online, got a little job, Formby to Formby, £8.05, including a pound tip. Hate the way the app now, it doesn't come up anymore and say, oh, congratulations, you've received a tip. I've just gone over these from last night and there's probably 4 or 5 customers that have given me tips, but I haven't been notified of it. So unless you actually go to your history, like, you won't know that you've been given a tip. You know, I know it's only a little small thing, but you can still click on it so they get a message to say they've sent, you know, they've sent thanks for the tip or whatever. So yeah, that was £8.05 for 1.3 miles. Then back in Southport again, the jobs were just really crap. £4.61. It was a 2-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. And I probably ran like 2 minutes to it. So at that point I was thinking, well, these aren't too bad because I'm being paid like £1 a minute. That was kind of like the way I was looking at it. And then including another pound tip that I've just thanked them for, it was a £5.21, and that was a 3-minute job going 1.1 miles. So again, I probably ran like a minute to it, but again, I was seeing it as, it's a crap job, but it's paying me £1 a minute. So doing that one and then the other one, you know, like back to back, it was starting to stack up. It wasn't too bad. One after that, £4.40, 5-minute job going 1.6 miles. Again, almost £1 a minute. You know, so for like that last like 15 minutes, you know, it was like £1 a minute. The one after that was £4.67. That was a 2-minute job going 0.7 of a mile. So again, £2 a minute. And then a £4.59. That was a 4-minute job going 1.6 miles. So again, £1 a minute. I then had an XL, Southport to Southport, including a pound tip that I've just had to thank them for because the Uber app doesn't want to tell me. £7.47. That was a 2.5-minute job going 0.8 of a mile. I think I only ran like 1 or 2 minutes to it. So again, that was like, you know, it was at least £2 a minute on that one. After that, £4.44, a 3-minute job going 0.8 of a mile. So that was over £1 a minute. I then had a 3.77, and that was for a 1-minute 20-second job. And I think I just dropped the other couple off, and I basically just reversed down the road like 20 metres, and the other customer was there. So I got £3.77 for a 1-minute job. So again, decent. I was getting bored of them little jobs, and then a job popped off where I was. It was £27.96. So Southport to Lime Street train station, obviously in Liverpool. So I took that because I thought, well, that's because at that time it was 8 o'clock, so I thought the traffic won't be as bad. So I got there in like 45 minutes, and then I thought hopefully I'll get something coming back because the night's still young and whatnot. Didn't get any job offers, so I drove probably 20-25 minutes back to Formby. I charged up earlier on, you see, for that hour that I just mumbled before that I deducted. So what happened at the BP charging in Formby, I charged up, and normally you just use the app. So you plug in, you click on it, connect, starts charging, and then when you finish you just click stop. That communicates with the charger, tells the charger to stop, and you unplug. So when I was charging up, I told it to stop, and it wasn't able to communicate with it for whatever reason. So you go around and it's got like a touch screen on it. So I'm clicking on it to stop charge, and it's thinking about it, and it's saying unable to stop. And I'm like, and it was just like stuck on like 93%, but it wouldn't let me disconnect. So I was able to disconnect it by pressing a button on the car, which cancels it. So I didn't think anything of it, just put the nozzle back, went about my business. Anyway, I've come back to this charge, the same charger, 4 hours later, and as I've rocked up, it's got 3 charges on it, 2 of the rapid ones and one's the slower one in the middle. The one that I'd used 4 hours previously was still flashing green, as though a car is connected to it. So I thought, oh well, it's obviously faulty, I'll use the one next to it. So I got the app out, tried to connect, and it was saying it couldn't connect to the charging point. So I got the BP card out, so you just kind of like tap it, like the little RF thing, I forgot what it's called. But the issue is, when I tapped on that, it was then recognising my details on that card, and it was saying you already have a charge in progress, and it was highlighting pump number 3. So the machine thought that I was still plugged in and had been plugged in for 4 hours. So the issue is then I couldn't use my BP card to initiate another charge using the other nozzle because I already apparently had an active charge in progress. So I couldn't charge up. Luckily, I still had about half a tank, but it's just because I was passing Formby. I thought I'll jump on here for 15 minutes, get a little top up and head into Southport. But it wouldn't let me top up. But then I thought I'm going to have to phone BP because with like all charging stations, they have a charge. So with BP, after you've been on charge for 90 minutes, to stop people basically sitting there, they then charge you a £10 fee for every hour that you remain on that charge point. So basically, I would then be getting a bill for like another £20 or £30 because the charger still thinks that I'm there. I think Tesla do something similar where as soon as you're fully charged, you then start getting charged £1 for every minute that you leave your car plugged in, which is great. I think it gets people moving because the amount of times I've seen people connect, it's fully charged, they're at a motorway services and they're just pissed off somewhere and you're thinking, there's like 5 or 6 cars waiting for a charger. So anyway, phone BP up. Nightmare on the phone, about 15 minutes, all stupid automated. You finally get through to a human and you think, I'd rather be speaking to a machine, that's how crap you are. So you give him all the ID off the machine, he logs in and everything, he's going, right, I'll reset the machine now. So he's trying to reset it and he's saying, oh, it won't allow me to communicate with it, so I can't reset it. He said, because normally we can manually stop the cars that are charging that's on there. So I was like, all right. I said, so what do you want me to do? He said, well, I can't stop it. He said, I can't communicate. An engineer's going to have to come out to the site to reset it. Now, I've noticed on every other charging point I've ever been to, doesn't matter of the company, they all have a big red emergency stop button on it that you can hit. So technically, you could kind of hit that to turn it off, pull the red plunger back out, and then the machine would like reboot. This BP one doesn't have one. You cannot turn that off. So if it's, if it's on fire or whatever, there's nothing you can do. You can't isolate the power to it. So I said, well, there's two issues here. I said, one, I need to charge up. Granted, there was another BP one further around the corner, which we'll talk about in a second. I said, but secondly, I said, it still thinks I'm plugged in. I said, so now you're going to be billing me for like 2 or 3 hours or whatever. And he was like, oh yeah, let me see what I can do. And then hung up. So he doesn't know how to resolve the issue. So his answer is, I'll just hang up on him. Just an absolute arsehole. So it then goes through to the automated like feedback system. Press 1, are you satisfied? So dissatisfied. It then says, please leave a little 15-second review for us to audit this kind of thing. So I said, the guy who answered the phone is an absolute arsehole. He couldn't sort the situation out. So he thought he'd just button me. And then it bleeps. And it obviously reads the text and then the voice reads it back. So it says, I detected that you said the guy's an absolute arsehole. I was laughing my head off. So, I mean, if anything, it's a bit of humour for whoever picks it up at the other end. So I left there anyway, drove round to the one round the corner, which is like a smaller 50 kilowatt one. Some arsehole in a diesel. It was half parked in the bay, half parked out. I don't know why. There's like 100 spaces in the car park. But him and his big fat arse, he doesn't want to walk to the pub. He wants to get out right outside the front door to go and drink, to get back in his car and then drink drive to go home. So there was another car that was on charge. I looked on the app and there was 3 nozzles on it, but only one was working, and that was the one that he had. So anyway, I managed to squeeze in between these 2 cars, and I only done it because I wanted the other arsehole to come out, and there must have been like a centimetre between me and his car, and he would have had to have got in the passenger door because I wouldn't have moved. So then I'm looking at the screen where this guy's charged in, even though it's a 50 kilowatt, and it was saying he was like halfway through his charge, but it was only giving him 4 kilowatts. And I'm thinking, I don't know if this guy doesn't realise that it's only giving him 4 kilowatts and he's going to be there for like another 24 hours. And then I'm thinking, well, this one's obviously faulty. I can't stay here because this guy's going to be here for another 24 hours. So anyway, I left there anyway, and so I basically wasted a good bit of time. Like I said, I'd done that job to Liverpool, dropped them off just before 9, and then drove back to Formby, wasted my time with the first BP, wasted my time on the phone, went to the second BP, wasted my time there, and then got into Southport and got my next job at 10 to 10. So there was like an hour and 15 wasted of the day there. And then that job again was only £6.25, 6-minute job going 2.8 miles. So I only took it because I thought, well, it's like £1 a minute. Then I got a £7.22, 5-minute job going 2.3 miles. So again, over £1 a minute. And then I accepted a job which was Southport going back to Formby, an XL, £25 6p. It was a 25-minute job, and it was 9 miles. So I thought, well, it's £1 a minute. And then I thought, because it was only 10 o'clock when I accepted this job, I thought I'll be back in Formby for about 10:30. Hopefully that charge has reset itself, or the other guy's gone off the other one. So I went down, dropped this guy off. It's probably the second biggest house that I've been to on Uber. The last one was like the White House that was in Formby. This one I pulled in, and I felt like as I was driving down this private driveway, I was going into like some sort of sports centre, you know, where all the lights are all lit up either side, and you pull round, there's tennis courts, this big massive house and everything, and I was like, wow. So yeah, I dropped him off there, and then just as I dropped him off, I thought, alright, I'll shoot back round to this BP, because it was like 60 seconds away from his house. And then the wife phones and says, oh, I think we're ready to come home now. So that pretty much brought an end to the shift, because at that point it was like 10:30, and then I had to drive back to Southport to pick them up, and you know what they're like, they then wanted food. I had to drop 2 off at this party, take the wife home, and that was basically the end of the night. But one thing I did check after that was the BP garage on the app, and I went to that charging point, and it said charger number 3 is still in use, and this is now, I think it was over 6 hours later. So I mean, I've checked it again this morning, it's cleared now, it's saying that you can go down and use it. So I'm just waiting for them to turn around and say, oh, you now owe us like 50 or 60 quid because you've been sat on that charger. So luckily, when I did go there the first time, I stood back and I took a picture proving that the car wasn't plugged in, and you could see on the screen it was saying 93%, just so it shows that like I wasn't plugged in. And yeah, and so that was basically it. I finished at 10:30. So I finished on £182.60, and I've done 6 hours. 182, call it, divided by the 6. So I finished on £30 an hour. So it wasn't too bad. Like I said, an hour of that was charging, and then I have included the hour. Well, the hour and 15 that I wasted really driving back from Liverpool to Formby and on the phone and everything to BP. So if you wanted to, you could deduct that off as well, which would obviously push your hourly rate up. But I finished on, like I said, about £30 an hour. wasn't too bad. I'm sure I took some screenshots of some absolutely ridiculous jobs that I was being offered. Yeah, I was being offered like XL jobs. Where was I? I was in Liverpool, and it was telling me to drive 17 miles away to speak to the airport. It was an XL job, 25 minutes, 17 miles for a 5-minute job, 0.8 of a mile job, £11.42. So it was basically offering me about 30p a minute. Or if you look at it the other way, it was offering me about 70p a mile, something like that. Absolutely ridiculous. Another cracker that I was given when I was in Formby, just before I was charging up, it offered me a job 25 minutes away. Oh sorry, no, I was in, no, it was the wrong way around. I dropped off near Liverpool. It was offering me a job in Formby, which was 23 minutes away, or 10.5 miles, doing a 5-minute job going 1.5 miles. So in total, it was a half-an-hour job doing about 12 miles XL, and it was offering me £6 6p. So what else? Another crap one. I was in Liverpool. It was offering me a job 25 minutes away, or 12 miles in Ainsdale, Southport, going a 10-minute job going 4 miles further into Southport. So all in, it was about a 35 to 40-minute job, and it was doing about 16 miles, and it was offering me £11.87, an XL job. And that was about it really. That's pretty much where I ended the shift, and that was it. Yeah, so all in all, not too bad of a shift. It was just kind of cut short. I probably would have continued the £30 an hour. I probably would have done another at least 2 hours towards the end, but I've had to finish to obviously help the missus out and everything, and then I lost about an hour in between that when I was dropping them off. So in reality, I've probably lost about £90 to £100 off that shift. I reckon I could have got it to at least 280 because I was dropping them off. But that's about it. So I'll end that now, and then I'm immediately going to start Sunday's video. So I'll if you've just if you have watched this one, you'll see me on the next one in about 10 seconds.